Hey there, little Redbots, this is Red Jealous Play, and not too long ago you may remember a video I did called Need for Speed, called Where is Cooper? A Need for Speed Theory. Well, the original writer of the theory, StubbyFreshTributes, got back to me saying that I kind of diverted a little far from his original story. And now that I hook on it, he does have some valid points on why the way I interpreted it really can't be the case. But hey, until solid evidence is provided, people are bound to interpret it different ways. Nevertheless, in my original video, I stated that in Undercover, Ryan Cooper was bought off by the police. He's to act as their operative, much like in how the second Fast and Furious film. The same can be said for Paul Walker's character, Brian. Rip him. However, he violated many certain laws across the United States and engaged with property damage and maybe the wrecking of one or two police vehicles caused one or two fatalities. Those were necessary in having him climb up the blacklist in Rockport. His second piece of evidence is that Rachel Teller, his agent from Underground 2, had an affiliation with Rose Largo. If it was Ryan, then Hector and G-Mac should have been alerted by some of Ryan's enemies. That his intention was to stop the cycle of selling stolen and/or illegal vehicle exports. Especially since at the time he should have been recognized as the best underground racer in the whole of America. He does intend to create like an unsung heroes series on his channel, and all based around all of the heroes of all of Need for Speed. Although to cover up the rest of the story, although to tie up loose ends, the story of Ryan Cooper is not the only one StubbyFreshTributes had. Along with all this evidence, he provided his interpretation of the story of the protagonist of the police arc of Need for Speed Rivals, Fate, whose true name is unknown even to this day. And I know a lot of people would rather forget about Need for Speed Rivals, and I quite agree with you. I guess that's why I covered it oh so briefly in the first video, because it was so underdeveloped, and the Craig It Up movement, and you get the point. Alright. According to the theory, Fate was originally a police officer during the 90s. And many police counties across the U.S. saw what he can do and what he was capable of. The story starts at Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 from 2002, where in the police arc you unlock a mysterious police Diablo, Lamborghini. Being the most elite officer in the force and clashing under his first encounter with Zephyr, the racer protagonist of Rivals, who was transferred to Tri-City Hitty PD, where he spent his time speculating over the operation that was being handled inside the city Hitty illegally. And so Lieutenant Jack Keller and Inspector Chase Lynn approved Fate's request to pose as an illegal racer to handle the custody of illegal car theft. And this is where shit gets exciting, because what he's about to do is destroy half of the elite illegal imports. That is, any car that was illegal inside the US, such as the famous Skyline R34, will be thrown away to stop illegal street racing activity. Not cool, dude. Might as well kill off the whole Need for Speed name branding. Now, I would like to make a note of here that while it is spelled F8 to give off more of a street vibe to more enhance his cover. So this is where shit gets complex. On the following situation of what Fate did, many elite Eagle crews, such as the Haves, the Kings of Palmont, and the Stacked Decks, and etc., begin to lose power and control of powerful cars that are being stolen inside and out, and to be imported in the US in order to be sold to street racers that can buy. That's why in Underground 2, Caleb Reese ended up broke. Not because of Cooper, but because of Fate. Ouch. And so Fate was given a 240SX on his first day of being undercover. Which is why Chase is like his Mia, an evil Mia. If you get where I'm going. Being trained as a police unit, undercover operative, and an underground driver he managed to get their attention. And so he worked with Zach Meyer and his suspicious brother Hector, who was an acquaintance with Caleb Reese and Isabel Izzy Diaz from Most Wanted. And this is where Fate got his skills to get better at doing undercover, because the Mayo boys gave him a job to immobilize racers and just go racing and make some money. Now, we have very near the end of the game, Chao Wu, an illegal mobster who has an affiliation with the Triads, and his car was thought to be stolen by Gregory G. Mac McDonald, who was a friend of the famous bounty hunter Nathaniel Cross, who you'll remember from Most Wanted, and Carbon. However, some people have speculated that Fate is Cross, but if he was, he really shouldn't mess with G-Mac. However, yeah, everyone got damn rinsed. G-Mac is also a close friend of Rose Largo, who has an affiliation with Rachel. Which is exactly why Fate is treated more as a newbie, he who just started working with G-Mac as a car boost, as opposed to a friend. If it were Ryan, more proof to say, hey, no, that there's a bigger thing going on with the cops and shit. And maybe Rose was the main cause of free cars inside of Bayview, which is why Rachel said, everything what happens here goes through me. Because there's a lot of Skylines in Bayview, and Ryan gets to drive them for free, just only owning some sponsors. so that those money can go to Rachel and give him a 40% cut from it, and not letting the Rays control the activity in Bayview. Another reason why Caleb was broke. So, yeah, maybe Ryan did have a little something to do with that, and especially after the race, the final race of Underground 2. Also among G-Mac's crew, who runs I guess, wrestler or ex-wrestler trying to be a badass named Fred Nickel Rogers. Chow Wu. Now back to the main story at hand. Chow Wu asked Fate to hijack a car that was previously stolen from him. Carmen Mendez, an acquaintance of the Mayo brothers, wants Fate to take a BMW M6 stolen from Wu because of her fear of the man. Wu finds out that Fate is in possession of his M6 and phones Fate to return the car as soon as possible. As a bargaining chip, Wu takes Chase Lin in hostage and holds that the M6 be paid as a ransom. Fate delivers the M6 to discover that both Lin and Wu were working together. However, Wu was shot in the back, dying in cold blood, with Lin escaping in the M6 with all of his honey. Fate is then tasked with pursuing Lin, who was holding the weapon that killed Wu, whilst they too are pursued by the Popo, who are under the belief that the weapon was fired by Fate. No. Lin held the weapon and fired it without mercy. Eventually, Keller is informed that it was Lin who pulled the trigger, and diverts the police. He's forced to track down Lin. She is eventually apprehended and hauled in on charges of murder and other criminal activities based on evidence found in Wu's PDA. Now, the bigger question is now being posed: what was even stolen? And something that was never shown to Fate. This may have been in the evidence in the prior court was of alerting every police unit around the country and triggering a nationwide alert over illegal importation of vehicles inside the U.S. that caused Black Ridge to wage war against each other. Crews on Paramount, such as the Kings, Los Caprioles, and Scorpions, tending to lose business and control all in because of this. And everything involved around this means policy and money. Hence why a lot of police enforcers are strong enough to buy high-end vehicles to be used secondarily, like in the states of Paramount, Rockport, Fairhaven, the Tri-City, and etc. And primarily for counties such as Seacrest and Redview, where Fate was sent in to deal with the problem. And so Fate was praised by the Tri-City PD. He said he wrote phrase, but I think he meant praise, and was transferred by Keller to Seacrest PD to qualify Fate for a better game. Fate played everything behind the scenes without anyone even knowing it, lighting the spark and igniting problems to the likes of Travis, Darius, and Caleb. Hence why Ryan doesn't want to take care of the problem, and why he's handling territories to his true friends and just selling them off. It's because of this is why Ryan clashed with Zephyr only once in Fairhaven, because Zephyr's available vehicles, i.e. the Agera, the Veyron, and other supercars he won from the blacklist in Fairhaven, versus Ryan's priced M3, you may remember as Alicia, which appears in DLC in Most Wanted 2012. Still, I'll get to talking about how that new stuff in a second, but for now, Ryan has learned that even he has limits. Hence why it's so easy for Ryan to defeat Wolf, Angie, and Kenji on one occasion, not only because of his racing skills, because of fate. And that's why Ryan had to go Pro Street to FIA. Back to Fate. After he was transferred to Seacrest PD, he was introduced to a new type of warfare, and this is where he began his clash with Zephyr for the second time. Fate was introduced to high cutting-edge technology before joining Redview County PD, reaching the ranks of Ultimate Enforcer to be qualified of what's coming. And so he was transferred, and that's where the Great War of Street Racing began in Need for Speed Rivals. Again, mostly overlooked by the Need for Speed community because of its glitches and short development time, which also involved having to build up EA Ghost while working on the game. Anyways, back to the story at hand. Zephyr was the only hero that every branch of racing only got. Underground racing, that is. And the candidate hit against this was Fate. Both skill pools are equal, however, both are 100% different from each other. Zephyr was taking the top spot, and that top spot was not for reputation, it's for her attention that the racers are willing to cross the line. And that will spark pressure for the public eye. Meanwhile, Fate does what he has best from driving for Seacrest SPD. Over time, both switch roles by stealing a car from the opposing faction. Zephyr driving a stolen police Koenigsegg, and Fate driving an impounded Ferrari Enzo. Both did the same roles at that time, which leads to Zephyr unifying the races and joining the FBI VRT, which is short for Vehicle Response Team, and unifying it with Redview PD. US taxpayers began to get rich because of this, which is the cause of, in the movie, the De Leon race, and in the run, the 3,000 mile challenge from San Francisco to New York, which can only mean one thing. Fate is responsible, truly responsible, for at least one more death than he intended. The war between the two godly drivers, Fate and Zephyr, ends up in a horrific crash, with Zephyr moving on and Fate being Redview County's top elite Eagle racer. And about how the De Leon and the run, this is where the racing community begins to flourish everywhere again. A war between two lives that all of us are scared to live with. just only causing wealth and the death of legends everywhere across the universe of Need for Speed. And as fate once said, I'm the dirt under your nails, the sin that you denied in confession. This is a cover story that I can cope with, but if there are any more plot holes, leave them down in the comments, or check out the original video with visuals involved in the description. Hey guys, thought I'd try and squish and update it with this theory video. Oh, and say that alongside the intro to the new LEGO Star Wars Let's Play that's coming soon, that I've teased in the crew Let's Play. Hey, which may end up being a two-parter if I get everything that I want to get. Like one part for all the action stuff that's actually me, and one part and the other part in the hub of the game explaining how the Let's Play is going to go. Anyways, but apart from that, I have been planning on doing some of running through the, not just the menus. I've been thinking of running through the Disc 2 Special Edition content on some amazing movies. And not just walking through the menus, but actually showing off the content. So what I can get for you now is all of the mainstay Harry Potter stuff on the day of the initial DVD release, and just a lot of Pixar. So yes, expect a lot of that in the coming days or weeks. But until next time, that's all from me. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, whatever, and check out the original video by clicking the card. But that's all from me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.